life is under attack.
It's time to build an army.
I think this is about as far as I feel like being pushed.
I know what to do. I'm coming home.
The wait is almost over, and I can hardly contain my excitement. The highly expected Yellowstone prequel, 1923. Season 2 is finally on the horizon. If you're like me and couldn't get enough of its first season, then you're in for a treat. Why? Well, because it will have one of the best seasons that the entire Yellowstone universe has ever seen, and you won't believe your eyes in the end. So let's talk about it. First off, it is officially the time to mark our calendars for the new season, because according to the news, 1923 Season 2 is dropping on Paramount Plus on February 23rd, 2025. We can all admit that it's been a long road getting here, with delays and plenty of behind-the-scenes drama dominating the series, but at last, it's finally happening. The sad thing is, this will be the last season of the series, ever. So, even though Yellowstone franchise is getting ready to welcome new shows, this particular one will be with us for only a couple of months more, and then we will say goodbye to our beloved Spencer. Are you ready to conclude the chapter of 1923? Or did you already give up once the Season 1 was concluded? Let me know in the comments below. So, what's coming up in Season 2? Well, based on all the behind-the-scene rumors I've heard, it sounds like we're in for a wild ride. You can get a glimpse of it from the recently released, brief but still mighty trailer as well. The trailer opens with breathtaking shots of snow-covered Montana, setting the stage for what looks to be a brutal winter. Which is not surprising, knowing that this season will mostly be about the drought and the road to the Great Depression. And let's face it, surviving those conditions back in 1923 is no small feat. In fact, get ready for some of the most brutal scenes we have ever seen in the Yellowstone franchise. Because at this point, the snow isn't just a backdrop. It's practically a character in the story, and I can't wait to see how it shapes the Duttons' fight for their land. Speaking of the Duttons, Spencer's journey back to Montana is going to be yet another huge focus. To no one's surprise. I don't know about you guys, but his voiceover in the trailer gave me chills. He said, "In Montana, there's a war over my family's land, and they're losing it. I know what to do. I'm coming home." Just like many of you guys, I'm also rooting so hard for him to make it back. And unlike many of you guys, I know for a fact that he will arrive in Montana in the first couple of episodes of the show, which is amazing. The rest of the season will focus on his fight against Donald Whitfield and the struggle to save the Yellowstone Ranch. Of course, there is also his very much expected reunion with Alexandra. As many of you know, they were forcefully separated in Season 1, and I'm dying to see if they'll finally reunite by the end of the show. Unfortunately, behind-the-scene rumors suggest that either one or both of them won't survive the season, creating yet another Dutton tragedy that will haunt the family for decades to come. I mean, after Elsa, do we really need yet another trauma in this franchise? I'm not sure, but let me know what you think. Unfortunately, it's not just Spencer who's on the move. Jacob Dutton, played by the legendary Harrison Ford, is also leaving the ranch to bring someone home. Most likely, Spencer. Cara's plea to him, bring him home. Promise, hit me so hard whenever I hear about it. My eyes are already tearing up thinking about the tragedy awaiting these two. It's going to be nerve-wracking watching Jacob navigate this dangerous winter, especially since we know he already has a target on his back. And then, as I briefly mentioned, there's Donald Whitfield. Can we talk about how he's shaping up to be the most ruthless villain in the Yellowstone universe? I mean, he is worse than even the market equities at this point. Feel free to fight me in the comments, but I genuinely hate him. A character can be only this annoying. Congrats to the actor for making a great job in making me angry at the character. Anyway, in the trailer, he declares, "It's time to build an army." I mean, hearing his voice alone makes me chill. There will be an outright war over the Dutton Ranch, and I'm not sure if we are ready for it. The stakes have never been higher, and I'm bracing myself for an epic showdown between him and the Duttons. On a more emotional note, I can't stop thinking about Elizabeth and Jack. Elizabeth's miscarriage in the Season 1 finale was devastating, and it looks like we'll be seeing her and Jack grappling with that loss even more in Season 2. One shot in the trailer shows Elizabeth sitting on the floor, crying, and my heart just breaks for her. It is clear that she is still feeling terrible for not having a baby, and it seems like her misery will be solved with yet another misery of yet another beloved character, aka Alexandra, who is pregnant. She will have to give her baby to Elizabeth eventually, But we will talk about that in more detail when the time comes. Speaking of Alexandra, Spencer and her will finally cross paths with Jacob and Cara in Season 2. Brandon Sklenar, who plays Spencer, teased this at the Golden Globes, saying, "I haven't gotten to act with them yet. I will in the last 8 episodes that we're about to start. It's happening, and I'm stoked. I don't know about you, but I've been waiting for this moment, and it's going to be amazing to see the different generations of Duttons interacting." Now let's talk about the incredible cast. Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren are, of course, returning as Jacob and Cara Dutton. We've also got some exciting new faces joining the cast. Jennifer Carpenter is stepping in as Mamie Fawcett, a U.S. Deputy Marshal who sounds like she's going to be an absolute badass. And Janet Montgomery will play Hillary, a thoughtful woman fighting against injustice. I'm already intrigued by these new characters and how they'll fit into the story. Production-wise, it's been a bit of a journey. Filming finally kicked off in July 2024, with most of it happening in Texas instead of Montana due to tax incentives. But don't worry, some scenes were still shot in Montana, and there are even photos of Harrison Ford on set there from last November. The attention to detail in this series has always been top-notch, so I'm sure it'll look just as stunning as ever. Also, Taylor Sheridan has described Season 2 as the second half of Season 1, which makes sense since the story is being told across 2 8-episode blocks. He admitted that he didn't initially plan for 2 seasons, but realized he needed more episodes to do the story justice. Honestly, I'm glad he made that call because I'm not ready to say goodbye to this world just yet. For more weekly updates on the Yellowstone franchise, make sure to like and follow. To see what will happen in the show's upcoming Beth and Rip sequel, watch the video on the screen.